died in 1616.
He invented a massive amount of the English language, which we still use today. But what people often tend to forget is that Shakespeare didn't create his plays to be read or studied, but to be performed.
And so for the past term and a half, Company Bright has spent their time learning all about the inner workings of Shakespeare's plays and the different techniques we can use to bring the characters to life. Together we bring to you a series of different scenes from some of Shakespeare's most well-known plays.
So thank you for coming and enjoy the world of Shakespeare Uncut. Twelfth Night was first performed in the early 1600s, and the play explores the true hardships of love. It starts off with Olivia, who is mourning the death of her brother. While Olivia is mourning, a nobleman named Orsino pines for her. At the same time, a young woman named Viola has just been through a terrible shipwreck. Needing work, she disguises herself as a man and goes to work for Orsino. Orsino sends Viola, dressed as a man, to woo Olivia for him. But Olivia falls for Viola, thinking she's a he.
Give me my veil and put over my face. We're here once more from Orsino's embassy.
The honourable lady of the house, which is she?
Speak to me, I shall answer for her. Your will?
Most radiant, exquisite, and unmatchable beauty. Pray you, tell me if this be the lady of the house, for I never saw her. I would be loath to cast her in my speech, for besides this excellently well penned, I have taken great pains to con it. With beauties that sustain no scorn, I am very comfortable, even to the least sincere usage.
Whence came you, sir?
I can say little more than I have studied it, and that question's out of my part. Good gentle one, give me modest assurance that you are the lady of the house, and I may proceed in my speech.
Are you a comedian?
No! My profound heart, and yet, by the very fangs of malice, I swear I am not the type lay. Are you the lady of the house?
Well, if I do not assert myself, I am.
You certain if you are she, you do usurp yourself. What is yours to bestow is not yours to reserve. But this is by my commission. I shall on with my speech in your praise, and then show you the heart of my message.
Come to what is important inst. I forgive you the praise.
Alas, I have taken great pains to study it. 'Tis poetical.
Oh, it's more like to be feigned. I pray you keep it in. I heard you were saucy at my gates and allowed your approach rather to wonder at you than to heed. If you be not mad, be gone. If you have reason, be brief. 'Tis not the time of moon with me to make one and so skipping a dialogue.
Will you hoist sail, sir? Here lies your way.
No, good swabber, I shall hold it a little longer. Some modifications for your giant, sweet lady. Tell me your mind, I am a messenger.
Sure, you have some hideous man to deliver. With the courtesy of it is so fearful to speak in your office.
It alone concerns your ear. I bring no overture of war, no taxation of homage. I hold the olive in my hand. My words are as full of peace as matter.
When you began breathing, what are you, what would you?
Rudeness hath appeared me, have I learned from my entertainment. What I am and what I would are as secret as an angel. To your ears, divinity. To any others, profanation.
Give us the place alone. We will hear this divinity. Now say your text.
Most sweet lady.
A comfortable doctrine and much may be said of it. Where lies your text?
In Orsino's bosom.
In his bosom. In what chapter of his bosom?
To answer by the method in the first of his
Oh,
heart.
I've read it. It is heresy. Have you no more to say?
Good man, let me see your face.
Have you any commission with your lord to negotiate with my face? No, you are now out of your text. But we will draw the curtain and show you the picture. Look you, sir, such a one I was this present. Is not well done?
Excellent, done if God did all.
'Tis in grain, sir, 'twill endure wind and weather.
Tis beauty truly blent. Whose red and white nature's own, sweet and cunning hand laid on.
I will not be so hard-hearted. I will send out dinner schedules of my beauty with every particle and utensil labelled to my will. As item 2 lips in different red, item 2 eyes with lids to them, item 1 neck and 1 chin and so forth. Will you send hither to praise me?
See what you are. You're too proud, yet if you were the devil, you are fair. My lord and master loves you. Oh, such love could be but recompense, though you were crowned an imperial of beauty. How does he love me? With adorations, with fertile tears, with groans that thunder love, with sighs of fire.
The Lord does know my mind. I cannot love him. Yet I suppose him virtuous, know him noble, of great estate, of fresh and stainless youth, in voices well divulged, free, learnt, valiant, and in dimension of the shape of nature, a gracious person. I cannot love him. He might have took his answer long ago.
I love you, my master's flame, with such a suffering, such a deadly life. And your denial, I would find no sense. I would not understand it. Why? What would you? Make me a willow cabin at your gate, and call upon my soul within the house. Write loyal cantons of condemned love, and sing them loud, even in the dead of night. Hallelujah your name to the reverberate hills, and make the babbling gossip of the air cry out, Olivia! Oh, you should not rest between the elements of air and earth, but you should pity me.
You might do much. What is your parentage?
Above my fortunes, yet my state is well. I am a gentleman.
To your Lord. I cannot love him. I will send no more. Unless, perchance, you come to me again. Tell me how he takes it. Fare you well. I thank you for your pains. Please spend this
I am no feed post lady. Keep your purse. My master, not myself, lacks recompense. Love make his heart a flint that you should love, and let your fervour, like my master's, be placed in contempt. Farewell, fair cruelty.
What is your parentage? Above my fortunes, yet my state is well. I am a gentleman. Oh, be sworn thou art. Thy tongue, thy face, thy lips, action and spirit do give thee faithful places. Not too fast. Soft, soft. What if the master were the man? How now? Even so quickly may one catch the plague? Methinks I feel this youth's perfections, with an invisible and subtle stealth, to creep in at mine's eyes. Oh, well, let it be.
A Midsummer's Night's Dream explores the magical love square between Hermia, Helena, Demetrius, and Lysander. It was originally performed in 1605 and was one of Shakespeare's comedies. The four lovers have all had marriages arranged for them by their parents, and so they plan to meet in a magical forest to escape their parents' wishes. They all fall asleep, and a little fairy called Puck floats in and drops a love potion in their eyes, making both of the men fall for Hermia instead of Helena.
Demetrius! Demetrius! Demetrius!
Helena! Helena! Helena!
Lysander! 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 Demetrius! Demetrius!
Helena!
Demetrius!
Helena? Why should you think that I should worry in scorn? Scorn and derision, never coming tears. Look when a vow we weep, vow so born in the nativity. All truth appears. How can these things seem scorn to you, wherein bearing the badge of faith to prove them true?
You do advance your cunning more and
When truth kills truth, O devilish holy fray, these vows are Hermia's, will you give her o'er? Weigh oath with oath, and you will nothing weigh. Your vows to her and me, put into scales, will even weigh in both the slides tails.
I had no judgment to whom I swore.
You're none in my mind, now you give her o'er.
Demetrius loves her and loves not you.
I'm Helena, goddess, nymph, perfect and divine. To what, my love, shall I compare thine eye? Crystal is muddy, oh how ripe and show. Her lips, as kissing cherries, tempting grow. That pure, congealed white, high Taurus snow, fanned in eastern wind, turns to a crow. When thou holdst up thy hand, let me kiss this princess of pure white, this seal of bliss. Hey,
Oh, spy, oh hell, I see you all bent set against me for your merriment. If you were civil and you courtesy, you will not do me thus injury. Can you not hate me as I know you do, but you must join in souls to mock me too. If you were men as you are in show, you would not use a gentle lady so. To vow and swear and to praise my parts when I know you hate me with all your hearts. You are both rivals to love Hermia, and now both rivals to mock Helena. A trim exploit, a manly enterprise to conjure tears up in a poor maiden's eyes. With your derision, none a noble sort, would self-offend virgin and extort. Of poor soul's patience, all to make you swore.
what? You're unkind, Demetrius. Be not so. You love Hermia. This is I know you know. And all my will and all my heart, and Hermia's love, I yield you up my part, and yours of Helen, to me bequeath, whom I did love to my death.
Never did mockers waste more idle breath.
Lysander, keep thy Hermia. I will none, for if ever I loved her, all that love is gone. My heart to her, but as guest will I sojourn. And now, to Helen, it is home returned, there to remain.
Helen, it is not so.
Despise not the faith thou dost not know, lest to thy peril thou shalt have it, dear.
Lysander!
Look where thy love comes, yonder is thy dear.
Dark night, that from the eye his function takes, the ear will quicker that apprehension makes. Wherein doth compare the seeing sense, it pays the hearing double recompense. Thou art not mine eye thy sound hath found, mine ear I thank it. Call me to thy sound, but why unkindly do thou leave me so?
Watch thee stay, whom love doth press to go.
What love could press Lysander from my side?
Lysander's love doth not lend by. Fair Helena that morn glides night, in those fiery eyes and eyes of light, while seek thou me could not make me know, the hate I bear, may we leave thee so.
You speak not as you think, it cannot be. Lo, she is one of this confederacy. Now I perceive that you have conjoined all three to fashion this false spawn spite of me. Injurious Hermia, most ungrateful maid, what have you conspired with thee, spake me with this foul vision? Is all the counsels that we two shared, the sisters' vows, the hours that we have spent when we cheered the hasty group of time? Oh, is it all forgot? I am amazed at your passionate words. I scorn them not, but it seems that you scorn me. Have you not set Lysander as in scorn to follow me and praise my eyes and face, and made your other lover, Demetrius, who even but now did spur me with his foot, to call me goddess, nymph, divine and rare? This you should pity rather than despise. I understand not what you mean by this. Ay, do persevere, counterfeit sad looks, make amounts upon me when I turn my back, wink at each other, hold the sweet jest up. This sport well carried shall be chronicled. If you had any pity, grace, or manners, you would not make me such an argument. But fare ye well, 'tis partly my own fault, which death or absence soon shall remedy.
Stay gentle, Helena, hear my excuse, my love, my life, my soul, fair Helena!
Oh, excellent! Sweet, do not scorn her so.
If she cannot entreat, I can compel.
Thou can't compel no more than she can entreat. Thy threats have no more strength than her weak prayers. Helen, I love thee by my life, I do. I swear by which I'll lose for thee to prove them false, because I love thee not.
I say I love thee more than he can do.
If thou so, withdraw and prove it too.
Quick, come.
Lysander! Where do you tumble this?
Away, you Ethiop!
No, the seams break loose. Take on as you will follow, but yet come not. You're a tame man.
Go, hang off, thou cat, thou bird, vile thing. Let loose, or I'll shake thee from me like a serpent.
Why are you growing so rude? What changes this? Sweet love?
Thy love, tawny tata, out. Lori's medicine, hated potion, hence.
Do you not jest? Yes, Soothe, and so do you.
Demetrius, I'll keep my word with thee.
I would have had your bond, for I perceive a weak bond holds you. I'll not trust your word.
What, shall I hurt her, strike her, kill her dead? Or die I hate her, or not harm her so?
What? Can you do me greater harm than hate? Hate me? Wherefore? Oh me! What news, my love? Am I not Hermia? Are you not Lysander? I am as fair now as I was erewhile, since now you loved me. Yes, since you left me. Why? Then you left me. Oh, the gods forbid. In earnest shall I say?
Aye, by my life. Never did desire to see anything, therefore, but out of hope, question out, nothing true, or test no jest, that I hate thee and love. Helena.
Oh me, you juggler, you counterless, and you think of love. What, have you come by night and stolen my love's heart from him? Fine faith, have you no modesty, no maiden shame, no touch of bashfulness? What, will you tear impatient answers from my delicate tongue? Fie, you counterfeit, you puppet! Why so? And that way goes the game. Now I perceive that she hath been compared between our statures. She hath urged her height, and with her personage, her tall personage, her height, forsooth, she hath prevailed with him. And are ye grown so high in his esteem because I am so dwarfish and so low? How low am I? Thou petted maypole, speak, how low am I? Oh, I am not yet so low, but that my nails can reach unto thine eyes. I pray you, though you mock me, gentlemen, let her not hurt me. I was never cursed, I have no gift in all atrociousness. I'm a right mate for my cowardice. Let her not strike me. You perhaps may think because she is something wilder than myself that I can match her. Lower, hop again. Hermia, do not be so bitter with me. I evermore did love you, Hermia. Did ever keep your counsels, never wronged you. Say that in love unto Demetrius. I told him about yourself into this wood. He followed you, and for love I followed him. But you threatened me, half chid me hence, to strike me, spurn me, nay, to kill me too. Why, get you gone. Who is it that hinders you? A foolish heart that I leave here behind. What? With Lysander? With Demetrius?
Be not afraid, she shall not harm you, Helena.
No, sir, she shall not. No, you take her part.
Oh, when she is angry, she is keen and shrewd. She was a vixen when she went to school. And though she did but little, she is fierce. Little? Again, nothing but low and little. Why will you suffer her to flout me thus? Let me come to her.
Be gone, you dwarf, you minnows, of him not grass and hay, you bee, you acorn.
You're too officious in her behalf that scorns your services. Let her alone. Speak not of Helena. Take not her part, for if thou dost intend such little show of love, thou shalt add thee.
Now she holds me not, now follow. Thou darest to join with thine in mine in most.
Follow.
Helena.
Nay, I'll go with thee, cheek by jowl.
You, mistress, all this calls long to you. Nay, you're not back. I will not trust you. I no longer stay in your cursed company. Your hands and mine are quicker for a fray. My legs are longer though to run away. I am amazed and know not what to say.
Hamlet is possibly the most famous of Shakespeare's plays. Written by Shakespeare in the late 1500s, the play explores the search for meaning after experiencing grief and loss. Hamlet has just recently lost his father, the king, when a ghost visits him in the night and tells him his mother plotted the king's murder. Hamlet slowly starts going insane, trying to avenge his father's death. In the scene, driven by madness, Hamlet turns his accusations to his best friend and love, Ophelia.
Soft you now, fair Ophelia. A nymph from the horizon? May all my sins remembered.
Good my lord, how does your honour on this many a day?
I humbly thank you. Well.
My lord, I have remembrances of yours which I have longed to redeliver. I pray you, can I receive them?
No, not I. Never gave you aught.
My honoured lord, you know right well you did. And with those words of sweet breath composed make the things more rich. Their perfume lost. Take these again for the noble mind. Rich gifts wax poor and givers prove unkind. There, my lord.
Are you honest?
My lord?
Are you fair?
What means your lordship?
That if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no disgust to your beauty.
Could beauty, my lord, have better commerce than with honesty?
I truly for the power of beauty will sooner transform what it is to a board than the power of honesty can translate beauty into his likeness. This was sometime a paradox, but time is proof. I did love you once.
Indeed, my lord, you made me believe so.
You should not have believed me. For the virtue could also inoculate our old stock, but we shall relish it. I did love you not.
I'm just the more deceived.
Get thee to a nunnery! Why would thou be a breeder of sinners? I myself am indifferent and honest, but I could accuse me of such things. My mother had not upon me. I'm very proud, revengeful, and ambitious. More offences at my back. Good thoughts to put them in, imagination to give them shape, or time to act them in. Why should fellows such as I call between earth and heaven? We all arrant knaves, believe none of this. Go thy ways to a nunnery. Where is your father?
At home, my lord.
Let the doors be shut upon him. May play the fool, but nowhere else but his own house. Farewell.
Oh, help him, you sweet heavens.
If thou dost marry, give thee plague, for thou dowry, thou chastest eyes of purest no. Thou shalt not escape calumny. Go thy ways to a nunnery, or farewell. Or if you need marry, marry a fool, for wise men will know not what monsters you make of them. Quick, go to a nunnery, quickly to farewell.
Oh, heavenly powers, restore him.
I've heard your paintings too. God has given you one place and you make it yourself. You cheat, you abolitionist, and you nickname gods and creatures. You make your wantonness your ignorance. God it hath made me mad. I say we'll have no more marriages. Those who are already married will stay as they are, all except for one. The rest shall keep as they are. Go thy ways to a nunnery.
Oh, what a noble mind is here overthrown. Courtiers, scholars, soldiers, eyes, tongue, sword. The expectancy of the rose-fair state. The glass of fashion and the mood of form. The absurd, full of service. Quiet down. And I, of all ladies, most deject and wretched, suck the honey from his music vows. Now see that noble and most sovereign reason, like sweet bells jangled out of tune and harsh. That unmatched form and feature of blown youth blast with ecstasy. Oh, woe is me. See what I have seen. See what I see.
Richard III was written in the 1590s and is one of a series of historical plays that Shakespeare wrote that depicts 400 centuries of England's royalty. You may remember in 2013, Richard III's bones were found below a car park in Leicester. His curved spine was clearly shown in the skeleton, and it's thought that Richard's cruelty and ruthlessness stemmed from him being so misunderstood as a child.
Shakespeare portrays Richard as a terrible, ambitious man desperate to be king. In this scene, Richard is wooing Lady Anne, whose husband he has killed because he needs her to be his wife in order to gain the crown. He attempts to seduce her as she is travelling to the funeral of her husband's father, who Richard also recently murdered.
Set down your honourable load, if honour may be shrouded in a hearse, whilst I awhile obsequiously lament the untimely fall of virtuous Lancaster, a poor key-cold figure of a holy king, pale ashes of the house of Lancaster, thou bloodless remnant of that royal blood. Be it lawful that I invocate thy ghost to hear the lamentations of poor Anne, wife to thy Edward, to thy slaughtered son, stabbed by the self-same hand that made these wounds. Lo, in these windows that let walk thy life, I pour the helpless balm of my poor eyes. Cursed be the hand that made these holes, and cursed be the heart that had the heart to do it. Cursed the blood that let this blood fall from whence. More direful happetide that hated wretch that makes us wretched by the death of him, to which I can wish adders, spiders, toads, or any creeping, venomed thing that lives. If ever he have child, abortive be it, untimely and prodigious brought to light, whose ugly and unnatural aspect may fright the hopeful mother at the view, and that be the heir to his unhappiness. If ever he have wife, let her be made miserable by the death of him, as I am by my poor lord and thee. Come now, towards Chertsey, with your holy load, taken from poles to be interred there, and still as you are weary of the weight. Rest you, whilst I lament King Henry's course.
Stay you that bear the course and set it down.
What black magician conjures up this fiend to stop devoted charitable deeds?
Villains, set down the course, or by Saint Paul, I will make a course of him that disobeys.
My lord, stand back and let the coffin pass.
Unmannered dog, stand thou and I command. Advance thy halberd higher than my breast, or by Saint Paul I'll strike thee to my foot and spurn upon the beggar for thy boldness.
What? Do you tremble? Are you all afraid? Alas, I blame you not, for you are mortal, and mortal eyes cannot endure the devil. Avaunt, thou dreadful minister of hell. Thou hadst the power over his mortal body, his soul thou canst not have, therefore be gone.
Sweet saint for charity, be not so cursed.
Foul devil, for God's sake, hence, and trouble us not. For thou hast made the happy earth thy hell, filled it with cursing cries and deep exclaims, if thou delight to view thy heinous deeds. Behold, this pattern of thy butcheries. O gentlemen, see? See dead Henry's wounds open their congealed mouths and bleed afresh. Blush, blush that foul lump of deformity, for it is thy presence that exhales this blood from cold and empty veins where no blood dwells. O God, which his blood madest, revenge his death. O earth, which his blood drinkest, revenge his death. Either heaven with lightning strike the murderer dead, or earth, gape open wide and eat him up quick, as thou dost swallow up this good king's blood, which his hell-governed arm hath butchered.
Lady, you know no rules of charity, which renders good for bad, blessings for curses.
Villain, thou knowst no law of God, nor man, no beast so fierce, but knows some touch of pity.
But I know none, and therefore am no beast.
Or wonderful when devils tell the truth.
More wonderful when angels are so angry. Vouchsafe divine perfection of a woman of these supposed evils to give me leave by circumstance, but to acquit myself.
Vouchsafe diffused infection of a man of these known evils, but to give me leave by circumstance to curse thy cursed self.
Fairer than tongue can name thee. Let me have some patient leisure to excuse myself.
Fouler than heart can think thee. Thou canst think of no excuse current, but to hang thyself.
By such despair I should accuse myself.
And by despairing shouldest thou not stand excused for doing worthy vengeance on thyself, which did unworthy slaughter upon others.
Say that I slew them not.
Why then they are not dead, but dead they are and hellish slave by thee.
I did not kill your husband.
Why then he is alive?
Nay, he is dead, and slain by Edward's hands.
In thou foul throat thou liest. Queen Margaret saw thy murderous falchion smoking in his blood, the which thou didst not spend against her breast, but thy brothers beat aside the point.
I was provoked by her slanderous tongue, which laid their guilt upon my guiltless shoulders.
Thou wast provoked by thy bloody mind, which never drank on aught but butcheries. Didst thou not kill this king?
I grant ye.
Dost grant me, hedgehog? Then God grant me too. Thou mayst be damned in hell for that wicked deed. Oh, he was gentle, mild, and virtuous.
The fitter for the King of Heaven that hath him.
He is in heaven, where thou shalt never come.
Let him thank me. I hope to send him thither, for he was fitter for that place than earth.
And thou unfit for any place but hell.
Yes, one place else if you'll hear me name it.
Some dungeon?
Your bedchamber!
Oh, respite the chamber where thou liest.
So will it, madam, till I lie with you?
I hope so.
I know so. But gentle Lady Anne, to leave this keen encounter of our wits and fall somewhat into a slower method is not the cause of the time He lives that loves thee better than he could.
Name him.
Plantagenet.
Why, that was he.
Self-same name, but one of better nature.
Where is he?
Here. Why dost thou spitteth at me?
Would it were mortal poison for thy sake!
Never came poison from so sweet a place.
Never hung poison on a foul toad! Out of my sight, thou dost infect my eyes!
Thine eyes, sweet lady, have already infected mine.
Would they were basilisks to strike thee dead!
I would they were that I might die at once, for now they kill me with a living death. These eyes of thine from mine have drawn salt tears, shamed their aspect with store of childish drops. These eyes which never shed a remorseful tear. No. When my father York and Edward wept to hear the piteous moan that Rutland made, when black-faced Clifford shook his sword at him. Nor when thy warlike father, like a child, told the sad story of my father's death, and 20 times made pause, just sob and weep, that all the standers by had wet their cheeks like trees bedashed with rain. In that sad time my manly eyes did scorn and humble tear, and what these sorrows could not thence exhale. Thy beauty hath, and made them blind with weeping. I never sued to friend nor enemy. My tongue could never learn sweet smoothing words. Now thy beauty is proposed my fee. My proud heart sues and prompts my tongue to speak. Teach not thy lips such scorn, for they were made for kissing, lady, not for such contempt. If thy revengeful heart cannot forgive, lo, here, I lend this sharp-pointed sword, which if thou please to hide in this true bosom, and that the soul forth that adoreth thee, I lay it naked to the deadly stroke, and humbly beg the death upon my knee. Nay, do not pause, for I did kill King Henry, but 'twas thy heavenly face that provoked me. Nay, now dispatched was I that stabbed young Edward, but 'twas your beauty that set me on. Take up the sword again, or take up me.
Arise, dissembler, though I wish thy death. I will not be the executioner.
Then bid me kill myself, and I will do it.
I have already.
Tush, that was in thy rage. Speak it again, and even with the word, this hand which for thy love did kill thy love, shall for thy love kill a far truer love, and to both their deaths thou shalt be accessory.
I would I knew thy heart.
'Tis figured in my tongue,
I fear thee both are false.
but never matters true.
Well, take up your sword,
Say then my peace is made.
that we shalt know hereafter.
But shall I live in hope?
All men I hope live so.
Vouchsafe to wear this ring.
To take is not to give.
Look, how this ring encompass thy finger. Even so thy breast encloseth my poor heart. Wear both of them, for both of them are thine. And if thy poor devoted suppliant may, but beg one favour at thy gracious hand, thou dost confirm his happiness forever.
What is it?
That it please thee, leave these sad designs to him that hath more cause to be a mourner, and presently repair to Crosby Place, where after I have solemnly interred at Chertsey Monastery this noble king, and wet his grave with my repentant tears. For divers unknown reasons I beseech you, grant me this boon.
All my heart, and much as it pleases me too to see you become so pertinent. Trestle and Berkeley, come along with me.
Bid me farewell.
'Tis more than you deserve, but still, as you teach me how to flatter you, imagine that I have said farewell already.
Has ever woman in this humour wooed? Has ever woman in this humour won? I'll keep her, but I will not have her long.
Shakespeare's most famous tragedies. It follows the tale of Macbeth, who is a general to the King of Scotland. Victorious from battle, Macbeth heads home, but is intercepted by witches who give him a prophecy that one day he will become King of Scotland. Skeptically, he goes home to his wife, Lady Macbeth, to tell her. Lady Macbeth, blindsided by terror, hatches a plan for Macbeth to overthrow the king. This scene depicts them killing the king and the suffering they will both endure for their wicked deed.
Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle toward my hand. Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not, fatal vision, sensible, to feeling as to sight, or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation proceeding from the heat oppressed brain? I see thee yet, in form as palpable, as this which now I draw. Thou marshallest me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still, and on thy blade indulging gouts of blood, which was not so before. There's no such thing! It's the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Though over the one half-world nature seems dead, wicked dreams abuse the curtained sleep, and with it murder. Witchcraft celebrates pale Hecate's offerings. Alarmed by a sentinel, the wolf, whose houses watch, thus with his stealthy pace, with Tarquin's ravishing strides towards his design, moves like a ghost. Thou sure and firm-set earth, hear not my steps, which way they walk, for fear thy very stones prate of my whereabouts. Take the present horror from the time which now suits with it. Whilst I threat, he lives. Words to the heat of deeds to cold breath gives. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
Quench them have given me fire. Hark! Peace. It was the owl that shrieked the fatal bell, which gives the stones good night. He is about to. The doors are open, and the Sophia grooms do mock their child with snores. I have drooped their posits, that death and nature do contend about, whether they live or die.
Who's there? What ho?
Alack, I'm afraid they have awaked, and 'tis not done. The attempt and not the deed. Confound us, hark! I lay their daggers ready. He could not miss him. Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I had done it. My husband!
I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owl scream and the crickets cry. Did not you speak?
When?
Now,
As I descended?
I,
Hark! Who lies in the second chamber?
Donalbain,
This is a sorry sight.
a foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
This one did laugh in sleep, and one cried murder. That they did wake each other. I stood and heard them. But they did say their prayers and addressed them again to sleep.
There are two lodged together.
One cried, God bless us, and amen the other, as if they had seen me with these hangman's hands. Listening their fear, I could not say amen when they did say God bless us.
Consider it not so deeply.
But wherefore could I not pronounce amen? I must need of a blessing, and amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought after these ways, so it will make us mad.
Methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more! Macbeth does murder sleep! The innocent sleep. Sleep that knits up the rebel sleeve of care. Death of each day's life. Sore labour's bath, balm of hurt minds. Great nature's second course, chief nourisher in life's feast.
What do you mean?
Still it cried to all the house, sleep no more! Glamis hath murdered sleep, and therefore God shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that cried? Why, worthy thing, you do bend your noble strength from your hand. Why did you bring these daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go carry them and smear the sleepy grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. I'm afraid to think of what I've done. Look out again, I dare not!
Infernal purpose! Give me the daggers. The sleeping in the den apple is pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that feeds a painted devil. If he do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the grooms with that, for it must seem their guilt.
Whence is that knocking? How is it with me when every noise appalls me? What hands are here? Ha! They pluck out mine eyes! Will all great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand? No. This my hand will rather the multitudinous seas incardinate, making the green run red.
My hands are of your colour, but ashamed to wear a heart so white. I hear a knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber, and little water cleanses of this deed. How easy it is then, your constancy have left you unattended. Hark! More knocking. Put on your nightgown, lest occasion calls, and show us to be watchers. Be not lost so appalling your thoughts.
To know my deed, twere best not know myself. Wake, Duncan, with thy knocking! I would thou couldst!
Yet here's a spot, out down the spot, out I say! 1, 2. Why then 'tis time to do't. Hell is murky, fie my lord, fie! A soldier and a third. What need we fear who knows it, when none can call our power to account? Yet who would have thought the old man to have so much blood in him? The Fane of Five had a wife. Where is she now? What? Will these hands near be clean? No more of that, my lord. No more of that you mad with all this starting. Here's the smell of blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweet in this little hand. Oh, oh, oh! Wash your hands. Put on your nightgown. Look not so pale. I tell you yet again, Banquo's buried. He cannot come out on's grave. To bed, to bed. There's knocking at the gate. Come, 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 come! Give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. To bed, to bed, to bed.
Julius Caesar was first performed in 1599, and it was based on true events in Roman history. Set in 44 BC, the play explores the circumstances and aftermath when soldiers Brutus and Cassius murdered Julius Caesar to prevent him from becoming Rome's dictator. This volatile scene takes place after the murder when the two soldiers accuse each other of corruption and greed.
That you have wronged me doth appear in this. You've condemned and noted Lucius Pella for taking bribes here at the Sardians, wearing my lens praying on his side because I knew the man was sliced off.
You wronged yourself to write in such a case.
In such a time as this, it is not meet that every night's offence should bear his comments.
Let me tell you, Cassius, you yourself are much condemned to have an itching palm, to sell and march officers for gold to underservers.
Aye, an itching palm. You know, your Brutus that speak this, or by the gods this speech, what else your last?
The name of Cassius honours this corruption, chastises doth therefore hide his head.
Chastisement!
Remember March, the eyes of March, remember, did not break Julius bleeding not for justice' sake, for villain touched this body that did stab and not for justice. What, shall one of us that struck the foremost man of all this world, but for supporting robbers? Shall we now contaminate our fingers with base lies and sell the mighty space, our large honours? For so much trash as may be grasped thus? My father here doth invade the moon, and such a road.
Lucius, obey not me, I'll not endure it. You forget yourself, take me in. I am a soldier, I own it in practice, able than yourself to make conditions.
Soldier, you are not Cassius.
I am.
I say you are not.
Urge me no more, I shall forget myself. Have mind upon your help, take me no further.
Away, fat man!
Is it possible?
For I will speak. Must I give way in room to rash
wrong me every way. You wrong me, Brutus. I said, an elder soldier, not a better. Did I say better? You did, I cannot. When Caesar lived, he durst not thus remove me. Hence, hence, you durst not tempt him. I durst not. No, you durst not tempt him. For your life, you durst not. Do not presume too much upon my love. I may do thy shalt be sorry for. You have nothing you should be sorry for. There is no terror, Cassius, in your threats. But I am armed so strong in honesty, they pass by me as the idle wind, which I respect not. I did send you for certain sums of gold, which you denied me, for I can raise no money by vile means. By heaven, I'd rather coin my heart and drop my blood for drachmas, than to wring from the hard hands of peasants their vile trash. By any indirection, I did send you for gold to pay my wages, which you denied me. Was that done like Cassius? Should I have answered Cassius so? When Marcus Brutus grows so covetous, lots of wrathful counters on his friends. Be ready, God, with all your thunderbolts, dash him to pieces! I denied you not. You did. I did not. He was but a fool that brought my answer back. Brutus hath bribed my heart. A friend should bear his friend's infirmities, but Brutus makes mine greater than they are. I do not, till you practice them on me. You love me not. I do not like your fault. A friendly eye could never see such fun. Flatterers would not, though they do appear as huge as high Olympus. Come, Antony, and young Octavius, come. Avenge yourselves alone on Cassius, for Cassius is weary of the world, hated by one who loves, braved by his brother, taken like a bondman, all his faults observed, set in a notebook, learned and conned by rote, to cast into my teeth though I could weep my spirit from mine eyes. There is my dagger, and here my naked breast, within a heart dearer than Plutus mine, richer than gold. If that thou be'st a Roman, take it forth. I that denied thee gold will give my heart. Strike as thou didst that Caesar, for I know when thou didst take him worse, thou lovedest him better than thou ever lovedest Cassius. She be angry when you will. It shall unscope. Do what you will. Dishonor shall be humour. O Cassius, we go to the land that carries anger as the flint bears fire, who, much and shows a hasty spark and strength, is cold again. Hath Cassius lived to be but mirth and laughter to his Brutus, when grief and blood ill-tempered vexed him? When I spoke that, I was ill-tempered too. Do you confess so much? Give me your hand. And my heart too. O Brutus, have not you love enough to bear with me when that rash humour which my mother gave me makes me forget? Yes, Cassius, and henceforth, when you're over earnest with the Brutus, he'll think your mother chides and leave you so.
Taming of the Shrew is another of Shakespeare's comedies. Many of his plays were based on folk tales and stories from the time when the printing press and sea travel began to open up to the world, and stories from many different cultures and places started to influence Shakespeare. Some scholars argue that this play was not written by Shakespeare at all. It explores who holds the power in a marriage, a popular theme at the time in stories from all over the world, and it is a story of Petruchio, a stubborn, brash young man who's desperate to find a very rich wife. He has no luck and tries his wits against Catherine, one of the world's first feminists. This scene explores a heated argument and the lengths Petruchio would go to get Catherine's hand in marriage.
I shall attend her here, and woo her with some spirit when she comes. So that she rather, then I'll tell her plain, she sings as sweetly as a nightingale. If she is brown, then I'll say she looks as clearly as morning roses newly washed with dew. If she be mute and will not speak a word, then I'll commend her volubility, and say she uttereth piercing eloquence. If she do bid me pack, then I'll give her thanks, as though she bid me to stay but her a week. If She denied to wed. Then I prayed the day when I asked the bands and we'd be married. Now here she comes, Trupio speak. Good morning, Kate, if that's your name I hear.
Well, have you heard? But something hard of hearing. They call me Catherine that do talk of me.
You lie, Faith. You include plain Kate and body Kate, and sometimes Kate the curse, but Kate, the prettiest Kate in Christendom. Kate of Kate Hall, my super dainty Kate. For dainties are all Kates, and therefore Kate, take this of me, Kate of my consolation. Hearing thy marvellous praise in every town, thy virtue spoke of, and thy beauty sounded, but not so much as to thee belongs. Myself am moved to woo thee for my wife.
Moved? In good time. Let him that moved you hither remove you hence. I knew you at first were immovable.
Why, what's immovable?
A joint stool.
Thou sit, come sit on me.
Asses are made to bear, and so are you.
Women are made to bear, and so are you.
No such jade as you, if me you mean.
Alas, my cat, I will not burden thee for knowing thee to be but young and light.
True life for such a swain as you to catch, and yet as heavy as my weight should be.
Should buzz.
We'll take him like a buzzard.
A slow return, shall a buzzard take thee?
I for a turn, Lizzie takes a buzzard.
Come, you wasp, I faith you are too angry.
If I be waspish, best beware my sting.
My remedy is then to pluck it out.
If the fool can find it where it lies.
Who knows not where wasp is ready, sit, in his tail.
In his tongue.
Whose tongue?
Yours, if you talk of tales, and so farewell.
What with my tongue in your tail, Kate? Come again, good Kate, for I am a gentleman.
That I'll try.
I strike off you, you strike again.
So may you lose your arms. If you strike me, you are no gentleman, and if no gentleman, why then no arms?
I have, Kate, I put it in thy boots.
What is your crest? A cock's comb?
The cover's cock, so Kate would be my hen.
No cock of mine, you crow to like a craven.
Come, Kate, come. You must not look so sour.
That's my fashion when I see a crab.
There's no crab here, therefore look not sour.
There is.
Then show it me.
Had I a glass, I would.
What, you mean my face?
Well, aimed at such a young one.
Now, by St. George, I'm for you.
Yet you are.
'Tis with cares.
I cannot.
Now here, Kate, and sue this game outside.
I'd chafe you if I tarry, let me go!
No, not a whit. I find you passing gentle. 'Twas told me you were rough and cruel in sons, but now I find report of very life. Thou pleasant, dense, and passing caution, with slow and speech as sweet as springtime flowers. Thou canst not frown, thou canst not look askance, nor bite the lip as angry wenches do, nor hast thou pleasure with counsel talk, but with mildness that entertains thy rules, with gentle comfort, soft and affable. O why is the world report that Kate doth think? O slanderous world, Kate is like the hazel tree, is straight and slender, and her brownish she was a hazelnut, and sweeter than the kernels. O let me see thee, walk, thou dost not hold.
Go, fool, and whom thou keepest command.
Did ever Diane so become a glory, would Kate this chamber with her princely gait? Let her be Diane, let her be Kate, and let Kate be chaste and Diane sportful.
Where did you study all this goodly speech?
It is extempore for my mother wit.
Oh, it's your mother! It was also son.
Mother what?
Yes! Keep you warm.
No, son, therefore, setting all this aside, thus, in plain terms, your father hath consented, that you shall be my wife. Your dowry agreed on, and will you knew you, I will marry you. Now, Kate, I am my husband for your turn. For by this light whereby I see thy beauty that doth make me like thee both. You must be married to no man but me, for I am he and born to tame you, Kate, and take you from a wild Kate to a Kate, conformable as other household Kates. And now, here comes your father. Never make deny, I must and will have Katharina to my wife.
Fie, unknit that threatening, unkind brow, and dart not scornful glances from those eyes. To wound thy lord, thy king, thy governor. It blots thy beauty as frost do bite the meads, confounds thy fame as well when Shakespeare buds, and in no sense is meet or amiable. A woman moved is like a fountain troubled, muddy, ill-seeming, thick, bereft of beauty, and while it is so, none so dry or thirsty will deign to sip or touch one drop of it. Thy husband is thy lord, thy life, thy keeper, thy head, thy sovereign, one that cares for thee, and for thy maintenance commits his body to painful labour both by sea and land, to watch the night in storms, the day in cold, whilst thou liest warm at home, secure and safe, and craves no other tribute at thy hands, but love, fair looks, and true obedience. Too little payment for so great a debt. Such duty as the subject owes the prince, even such a woman oweth to her husband. And when she is froward, peevish, sullen, sour, and not obedient to his honest will, what is she but a foul, contending rebel, and graceless traitor to her loving lord? I am ashamed that women are so simple, to offer war when they should kneel for peace or seek for rule, supremacy, and sway, when they are bound to serve, love, and obey? Why are our bodies soft and weak and smooth, unapt to toil and trouble in the world, but that our soft conditions and our hearts should well agree with our external parts? Then come, you froward and unable worms, my mind hath been as big as one of yours, my heart is great, my reason haply more, to bandy word for word or frown for frown. But now I see our lances but straws, our strength as weak, our weakness past compare, that seeming to be most we indeed least are. Then veil your stomachs, for it is no boot, and place your hands below your husband's foot, in token of which duty, if he please. My hand is ready, may it do him ease.
The story of the romance of Romeo and Juliet has been told in many different ways, adapted, interpreted, and performed in many languages and mediums throughout the world. It is the story of two warring families whose youngest children fall in love despite their love being forbidden by their families. Romeo and Juliet is a tragedy that sees the death of the two young lovers become the catalyst for peace among adults. This is the famous balcony scene.
Light through yonder window breaks. It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon who is already sick and pale with grief. But thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools to wear it cast it off. It is my lady, oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses. I will answer. I'm too bold not to be, she speaks. Talk of the fairest stars in all the heaven. Had it some business to entreat her eyes, to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if I were there, they in her head? The brightness from her cheek would shame those stars as daylight doth the lead, her eye in heaven. Or through the air region streams so bright, the birds would sing the big one at night. Oh, that I were a glove upon the hands, that I might touch that cheek.
Hi, me.
She speaks. Oh, sweet, very bright angel.
Oh, Romeo, Romeo, where art thou, Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name. Or, if thou will not, be but sworn, my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I hear more? Shall I speak of this?
'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though a Montague. What's a Montague? Nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to man. Or be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose. For any other word would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection which he owes without that title. Romeo doth thy name, and for that name which is no part of thee, take all thyself.
But take thee at thy word. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth I never will be Romeo.
What man art thou that thus restrained a knight, so stoppeth upon my counsel?
By name I never have told thee who I am. My name, do say, is hating to myself, because it is an enemy to thee. Had I written, I would tear the word.
My ears have not yet drunk 100 words from that tongue's utterance, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo and a Montague?
In the fair saying of thee, the is like.
How thou comest here? Tell me on my floor. The orchard walls are high and hard to climb, and the place of death considering who thou art, if any of my kinsmen find thee here.
With love's light wings and I purse these walls, for stony limits cannot hug love out, and what love can do that dares love attempt their fools like kinsmen are not let to me.
If they see thee, they will murder thee.
Alack, there lies more peril in thine eye than 20 of the swords of thou art sweet, and I am proof against their enmity.
But not for the world if they saw thee here.
I have not hope to hide me from their sight, and but thou love me, let them put me here. My life were better ended by the hate and death borrowed wanting with thy love.
By whose direction foundest thou out this place?
By love, who first did proper to inquire. You let me counsel and I lend you mine eyes. I am no pilot, yet wert thou as far as that far shore washed with the farther sea, I would venture for such merchandise.
Thou knowest the mask of night is on my face, else a maiden's blush would bepaint my cheek for that which thou hast heard me speak tonight. Fain would I dwell on form, fain deny what I have spoken, but farewell compliment. Dost thou love me? I know thou wilt say aye, and I'll take thy word. Yet if thou swearest, they may prove false that love is perjuries, and then say, Jove loves. O gentle Romeo, if thou dost love me, pronounce it faithfully. Or, if thou thinkst I am too quickly won, I'll be perverse and say thee nay. So thou wilt woo, but else not for the world. In truth, therefore, to you I am too fond, and therefore they may think I hate you not. But trust me, gentlemen, I'll prove more true than those who have more cunning to be strange. I should have been more strange, I must confess. But thou overheardst me ere I was wed. My true love's passion therefore pardon me, and not impute this yielding light love that the dark night has so discovered.
Lady, by yonder blessed moon I swear, that tips with silver all these fruit tree tops.
Oh, swear not by the moon, the inconsistent moon, that changes in her monthly orb, lest thy love prove likewise variable.
Or what shall I swear by?
Well, do not swear, or, if thou wilt, swear by thy gracious self, which is the god of my idolatry, and I will believe thee.
But if my heart still
Oh,
loves,
do not swear at all. Although I joy thee, I have no joy in this contract tonight. It's too rash, too unadvised, too sudden, too like the lightning that doth cease to be. Ere one can say it lightens. Sweet good night, this bud of love by summer's brightening breath may prove to be a beautiful spell by next we meet. Good night, sweet repose and rest. Come to thy heart within my breast.
oh, wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied?
And what satisfaction can thou have tonight?
In exchange of thy love, faithful vow for mine.
I gave thee mine before thou didst request it, and yet it were I would give again.
And wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love?
But to be frank, I give it to thee again. My bounty is as boundless as the sea, my love is deep, and the more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite.
Juliet!
I hear some noise from within, dear love, adieu. Anon, good nurse! Sweet one, do you stay a little, I will come again.
Oh, blessed night, I am afeard. Being a knight, all this is but a dream, too flattering, sweet to be substantial.
Three words, dear Romeo, and good night indeed. If thy bent on love be likewise honourable, thy purpose marriage, send me word tomorrow by one of the hill to come to thee. Where and what time wilt thou perform the night? And all thy fortunes at thy foot I'll lay, and follow thee, my lord, throughout the world.
Juliet!
I come anon, but if thou medst not well, I do beseech thee.
Juliet!
By and by I come, to cease thy suit and leave me to my grief. Tomorrow I will send.
Confirm my soul!
1,000 times good night.
Oh, 1,000 times the worst to want thy light. Love goes towards love as schoolboys from their books, but love from love towards school with heavy looks.
Thank you guys so much for coming, and we hope you enjoyed the show. And before you guys leave, we just wanted to say a few thank yous. And first off, we'd like to give a massive thank you to Adam in the lighting for doing all of the sounds and lighting throughout the performance. It was a massive help, and yeah, we just wanted to say thank you for that.